What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Firewall, where we talk about the latest and greatest cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers of glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. I jinxed myself and said I was doing good on the intro, and then I messed up. But we're going to keep it going. So if you're tuning in throughout the week, so on Monday and Tuesday, we had topics that we discussed about Apple as well as Revel. On Wednesday, we did a reintroduction of ourselves to give you a little bit of background about us and where we're coming from and why this podcast exists. Now, Friday, we're doing the weekly rundown where we talk about everything but cyber. So we're going to put it out there throughout the week. Ain't nobody been studying for nothing. Even though I said I was going to start, it's been a long week. So all I did was work and then came home and rested my brain. I vegged out, right? So that's what I will be talking about. We do things a little bit different this week, so I definitely want to talk about all the randomness as well, but I do want to dig into the first week of discussing just gaming nostalgia. So we talk about all the time. Like I think last week I think LeVon struck a chord with me. He's talking about the Dreamcast, one of my favorite systems of all time. The most favorite system of mine of all time, I should say. Put some respect on that console's name. Dreamcast. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, why don't we go back a little bit further and we could talk about each generation for each week, right? So it don't have to be long conversations. Like if we didn't really play anything during that generation, then that's cool as well. But I decided to start out with the third one because that's where we mostly started our gaming lives at, and we'll go into that as well. But I'll put that on the back end, right? So you guys have to get through our randomness to get to the structured content at the end. We'll see how that works out. We might flip it next week, but we definitely stay tuned throughout the episode because at the end we're going to talk about our fond NES memories and anything else that happened in that generation. So that was 83 through 2003. It's a big generation. You had the Sega Master System, the Atari 7800, and the NES or NES if you're from overseas. I never called it that. But we'll dig into all that stuff. But like every Friday show kicks off, I would like to say, what have you guys been doing this week? What have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been chilling out. Just been hanging out with the wife, watched some shows, watched some movies, played some games, played some Psychonauts 2 on the Xbox. Been enjoying that.
Okay.
Played some Destiny. They got the Trials of Osiris out. It's like a PvP PvP like end game type stuff where it's like the top notch, the higher skilled players supposed to gather and play each other. Playing some of that, and then watch.
Is it tournament style battle royale? What is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like tournament. I mean, it's not much tournament, but it's more like you get like you have to get so many wins before you can kind of like be kind of declared like and kind of declared a champion. Or you get access to this custom loot, get this high quality loot that nobody else can really get unless you get to that level. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's more like some people don't really like the PvP where you're like shooting at each other. Most people want to shoot like AI robots
mobs,
or whatever.
Yeah,
mobs and stuff like that. But it's kind of like it's pretty cool when you kind of get into some good games where you get like really like kind of edge of your seat type. Man, we almost win this game. We got to like get one more point or something, get one more kill. But it's pretty sweet. But I've been doing that, and then like I said, Psychonauts 2. Then been watching Shield. I think we're in season 4, about halfway through that season. And we've been enjoying that. It's been pretty fun. Like you mentioned, first I thought it was kind of like the first like season or so. At least the first few episodes didn't really have any kind of like craziness with the killing and things like that. It's kind of like really tempered, but then it started getting a little more I don't know, raunchy, as you can say. With some of the death scenes and some of the murders or whatever you want to call it. But
is this still Disney?
Right. It's for kids. This is on regular TV. But that's been good. And there's a series that I like on Netflix that just came back with a new season called Sex Education. It's actually a pretty good series. It's like I think it's based off of like, I don't know if they're like, I guess like it's like a high school or something like that, and some kid whose mother is a sex therapist. He he's going to school, and then sex starts becoming like a topic in school, and like he starts picking up ideas from his mom's sex therapy sessions that he has with other clients, of course. And he starts learning some things, and he becomes like a sex therapist for the school. He becomes like he starts teaching kids about how to pleasure a man, a woman, or whatever like that. It doesn't really get graphic. It's just like it's really kind of like a comedy. But he talks about like he becomes like the guru. Like people are like don't know how to like, what do I do? How do I have sex? Or what when to like come up there like all confused, and he has to like help them out, and like. But he's a virgin still, but he's like he knows all about these techniques somehow. He's like he has never had sex, but it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's a fun series, and I've been watching that. I just watched the first like episode of the new season, but yeah, I think that's been the gist of my week so far. I got the chance to wash the dog today. It's a little bit warm. The dog's been like overdue for a bath, so we washed her up, so she's nice and shiny. But besides that, that's been my week. How about you guys?
So let me jump in.
Yeah, how about you, Shannon?
Let me jump in.
Okay.
So I haven't really done anything. So yes, I was not studying. So I did buy the Madden NFL 22 this week.
Okay.
That a little
for your
bit.
PS5.
For the PS5, yep, for the
There
5.
you go.
Shiny new 5.
Yep, next gen. And I'm not too thrilled with it.
Oh, damn.
That's what I've been hearing across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled with it. Like the graphics are amazing, and it actually gives you an option. There's like a graphics option where you can choose performance to where the frame rate is lovely. Like the way they move is so smooth and whatnot.
Right.
And then there's another one that's image quality. So then like the different details on like the uniforms and the faces and whatnot get better, but it kind of slows down. It slows down the frame rate of what you see. But that's not my big beef with it. Like I could play in either one of those modes. My beef is that the pass defense is like some of the dumbest I've ever seen. Like you have cornerbacks that are blitzing and just abandoning their coverages and leaving people wide open to do whatever. I'm just like, this is unplayable. You know what I mean? There comes a point where it's like, no, I figured that was going to happen. I played a defense for that. You know what I mean? I understand the game of football. Like, and it's just like, you're like, how'd they get wide open? And then like, you do the replay, they follow him for like 5 steps, and then all of a sudden they're just blitzing, going towards the quarterback. I was like, why are you doing that? That was not the play. But it's a beautiful looking game, man. It looks beautiful on the system. Presentation is better, but I'm just like, I might be one of those. Apparently, there's people asking EA for their money back. I might be next on the list to be like, hey, let me go ahead.
How does that happen though? Like every year, it's like, oh, the offense sucks this year, all the defense sucks this year. Like once you get it right, like is it a balancing issue that they have? Like, I never got that because it's like every other season. Madden, I stopped buying Madden 07 was the last Madden I bought.
Wow. Yeah,
I was like, I'm out. For those reasons, I'm out.
No, I you know what? They do try to. Well, I don't know. The last few years, not really. I didn't buy it last year. So like I played the trial last year, and I wanted to buy it so bad because I had Lamar Jackson on the cover, and I am, I'm a Ravens fan. If you don't, I am.
Right.
I was like, okay, let me get some Lamar in the house. But I played the trial, and it was like a 7-day trial last year, and I was just like, nah. I didn't even keep it. I didn't even keep it on my system for the 7 days. It might have been like 3-4 days. And I was like, I'm done with this. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And this one, they did the trial over the last weekend, and I played it, and I was like, man, this looks really good. And again, it's on the 5, right? It's on the PS5. I was like, man, this looks really good. And I had noticed the pass defense thing. I was like, okay, maybe it's just a glitch because it was a trial or whatever. But nope. Until they fix it, like that's what they're gonna do. Like people are just not gonna cover their assignments that you picked. I'm like, that makes it unplayable. When you have a terrible quarterback throwing for 300 yards on you, you're like,
right.
How do I keep doing this? But video games, that's pretty much all I've played, and I've only played it a few times so far. I started watching this show. It's a show that's a few years old, but and it's not even on anymore, but it's called The Carmichael Show. So Gerard Carmichael's a comedian, and he had a TV show that came out, did 3 seasons. And I had watched a few episodes a few years ago, and I was like, oh, that's okay. But the reason I like it, and the reason I started watching it again, is because they addressed topics that were, I don't want to say controversial, but it was things that's like, yeah, people don't really talk about that on TV shows. You know what I mean? So like in the third season, they had one. It's an all black family, right? And they were talking about voting for Trump. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that it doesn't really get addressed that much. Like people talk about it in their own homes and whatnot, but you don't see it represented in TV. So it was like voting for Trump, having guns in the house, you know, people that have guns and whatnot. But it's a comedy, right? So there's always something funny to go with it. And I was like, man, these topics it's real stuff, you know. They had one that was, not to get too serious, right, on the podcast, but they had one
right.
It was when it's okay to say yes to somebody, like when it comes to consensual, you know, encounters when it comes to sex. And so Gerard Carmichael's brother is Rel Howery. I don't know if you know the comedian Lil Rel Howery.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's absolutely hilarious, right? But he's his brother, man, and he's like in this episode, they start talking about what's consensual sex and whatnot, and he's like, man, and I don't want to laugh at this because it seems bad to laugh at it, but he was like, I think I raped somebody. You know what I mean? And then they're like, what? Man. He was like, the way they do it is they put a funny spin on it, right? It's because, well, according to what Gerard's girlfriend was saying, it's like, no, she has to say yes, this, that, and the third. And he was like, well, she never actually said yes, but she did. He was like, she actually said, don't stop, or it could have been, don't stop. Right. It's the subject of someone being raped is not funny, but when you watch it in the show, because they're like they're getting at him, and it turns out, and the thing is, it just turns out he was bad at sex, which is why this woman wasn't calling him back. So he thought he had raped her, and she was like traumatized, and she was like, no, it's like, you're just bad at sex. And he's like, oh, okay.
Okay, shoot.
Yeah, exactly, right. He's like, oh man, okay. But yeah, the Carmichael show, it only had like 3 seasons, but
that's probably why. That was
but that's the thing, like that's what should have been. That's the stuff you kind of want to see on TV. I know you watch TV to escape things, but they put a comedic right tilt to these things, right? It's not like it's a serious thing that you got to see. Oh, okay, well now we got to take the dramatic turn on this. Like they're funny about it, but still getting the message across. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You know,
like what is consent and all that good stuff. No, that's good. But when you tell me something only like, did it have a conclusion, or did it just end? Because if it don't have a conclusion, I ain't starting it.
So the conclusion was, yes, there is a way to consent. You know what I mean?
No, I mean the show itself. The show, like, did it just get canned, or did it wrap?
I haven't gotten to the end of season 3, so I'm in season 3. I haven't got to the end of this season, but I'm not sure how they wrapped it up. I don't think they knew they were going to get canceled, though. I don't think they knew. So I think it was one of those things where it was like they were anticipating maybe a 4th season, and they didn't get it. Because I remember reading this when I first watched the show, because I was like, it's only 3 seasons. You know, it was probably a year and some change back. I was like, it's only 3 seasons, and I want to say they didn't know they were going to get canceled. It was, I don't know if it was a contract thing or whatever it was, but yeah, they didn't go forward with the 4th season.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'll drop something in a minute. Like if I find out it's going to be canceled, I'll drop it.
Right.
Like all those Marvel shows that were on Netflix, I dropped all of them in the final season. I was like, "Are you not renewing this?" I'm out. Like,
right, you got to go.
I don't like cliffhangers after giving you years of my life. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like, nah, you gonna wrap it up. You gonna give me something.
Give me a conclusion.
Yeah, you gonna give me some kind of conclusion.
So you'll only watch it if they know. So like if they go into a season saying this is the final season and there's gonna be a conclusion to it, that's the only way you'll watch it, though.
If it's a suggestion, like if I already started it, like if I'm already in it. Excuse me, my voice is over here cracking. I'm going through puberty again. Like with the Jessica Jones and the Luke Cage and all that stuff. Like as soon as I found out, like I invested time. I was actually watching these in real time, or Netflix real time. So I'm still binging them, but closer to real time than like I have to wait for the next season type situation, which I also don't like. Give me all 7 seasons. Like figure it out. Figure out how to work your life around giving me all the content.
You know how to figure it out, right? They're gonna charge you more. That's what's gonna happen.
Right.
Then you'll be like, I don't want to pay more.
Right. I don't want it. Turn it back.
But yeah, I was in the last seasons of those, and as soon as I found out that Netflix was going to carry it on, like Netflix or I'm not Netflix, yeah, because they were like, it's the IP's too expensive, yada yada yada, giving them back to Disney. I was like, oh, I'm out. Like I just, you got to give me a conclusion. Like it's okay if you're only one season or two seasons, but you got to give me something. You got to give me some kind of closure. Like I was watching. So prime example, my wife had me watching. I think it's Manifest. It was on NBC. So it was a show that was on again, off again, on again, off again. So I started watching on Netflix, and I think there's 3 seasons, and they did not get renewed by NBC or whomever had them. I was like, oh, I'm out.
Right.
But my wife watched it to the end of season 3, and now they've been renewed for season 4 because it was so much demand, which was not spurred on by me because I quit as soon as I found out.
Right.
They weren't getting a conclusion. I was like, I'm out. But yeah, man, I just can't do it. I don't like. I'm very finicky. You can't be too long. Like I don't. You can be short. You can only have one season. Like I like that. But if you got 17 seasons, even I'm like, that's too much. Just give me a short, concise story.
Right.
Like wrap it up. I had the boombox. I'm like, wrap it up, B. Like this 18 season show could have been 8 seasons, and we could have been done with it.
Right.
See, right. You kind of surprised me with that because your choice in movies, like you seem to like all the background stuff for like movies to. I don't know
the B side. Yeah, I like the B story. I do like the B story.
But I like to get that action in. You know what I mean? I like to be about that action, boss. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That is true because like even John Wick, right? So John Wick action is amazing. Like I love it. I'm more interested in how all the systems in the background work. Like who's the operator? Who assigns this person to do what? Like I like all that stuff. Like that's why I said I like the Matrix, the first one, over the rest of them, because it had so much of stuff happening in the back. You just like, oh, I wonder how this stuff works. Then they showed it to me, and I was like, I don't like that.
Right.
Like never mind, take it back. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I think it stems from anime. I think anime has clouded my judgment. Like, because the best anime only lasts. Like people will argue and they'll be like, oh, like Dragon Ball Z and like One Piece, like those are the best, and they just keep going. No, stop going. Stop. You can wrap this up. You can just give me 3. I think like Cowboy Bebop's only like 3. Is it 1 season? Is it Cowboy Bebop one season?
26 episodes.
Perfect arc. 26 episodes. It has a beginning. It has a very good ending, and we're done here. we can move on with our lives.
I saw they got a live action movie coming out.
They do.
Cowboy.
Yeah. It's I think it's a show. I think it's gonna be a show.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a series. Yeah.
Oh, is it a series? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a series. And if they go too long, I'm gonna be very upset.
Right.
Like, this anime is 1 season. I don't know, maybe you get 2. But Netflix never disappoints me because Netflix will wrap a show up immediately. Like,
yeah. It's not doing well.
They were like, all right. They don't play with my emotions. It's either on or it's off. Like they don't play.
Right.
Like I was watching a season. What was it? It's the Robinson show. What is it? Lost in Space. Also, the new Lost in Space. I watched it with my daughter. It only got three seasons, so we watched the first 2. The third one's coming out. And they announced it back in season 2 before season 2 started. They're like, 1 more season, and it's done. I like that.
Right.
Like I know it's coming to an end, and I know it's not going to be. They're not going to put too much extra like bloat in there, like Dragon Ball Z episodes of people screaming. I don't need that. Wrap it up.
You can only see somebody's power over 9,000 or 300 times gravity so many times, right? You're like, okay,
right.
And they'd be like, yeah, this fight lasted this fight lasted only a day, but it took a month to show me the fight. I'm like, yo, I don't care anymore. Like, just let's get to the beef. But did I cut you off? Were you done?
No, not Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, man. That was it for me.
Okay, my bad. I'm being rude. I'm just
No,
gonna say
you're
no.
good. You're good. I remember that. I remember that when we go on Judge Judy.
Oh,
That's right. It's still a thing.
For your free work. I'm like, hey, they said they were doing this out of the kindness of their heart, Judge Judy. I got text messages that I made up. So this week, primarily work. Man, I've been working every day for the past couple of weeks. But then when I got home, like I said, I vegged out. So I got to the itis episode of Boondocks. Hilarious. Because Boondocks has so many layers, man. Like it's so good. Like I should have been watching it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want everybody to watch this show. I don't know if I like everybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was doing the Chappelle, going back to Africa. But now that I watch it, it's so nuanced, right? Like even the itis episode, even though it was only it could have been one dimensional, it went into like gentrification and homelessness and just all types of like distinct topics, and they wrapped it all into like you said, like they made it funny, so it makes it palatable. You know what I mean? Like I'm learning something, stuff that you already know, but like back then it could have been something brand new to me if I had watched it in real time. So great show. So I watched a couple episodes of that. I've been watching Star Trek Discovery, still great. I'm on season 3 of it. I believe I'm almost in real time. Really good show. If you like Star Trek, I think you'll like this. It is more dramatic than any other Star Trek. Like they do bring the drama, but it's still very grounded, but not grounded. You know, Star Trek was never completely grounded. They grounded as much as they can, but it's still talking about, you know, future science that hasn't happened yet. But I think it's good. What else did I watch? I watched something else. Oh, I watched a movie. So I told you I was going to give you my 1-minute review of movie Radius. That I won't spoil it. I won't spoil anything, but I think you should watch it. I know you don't trust my movie choices. Donnie Darko, Requiem for a Dream, Pie. I get it. I like what I like. All right. I like dystopic, sad movies. I love them. This one, it's not quite Mad World happening, but the premise, like if you watch the trailer, I'm not spoiling anything. Like the premise is guy wakes up with amnesia from a car wreck, and as he approaches people, they drop it. So like their eyes haze over, they drop. And he's just like, what is happening? So he's under the premise that like at one point even in the trailer, like he rips his sleeve off and he covers his mouth because he's like, oh, it's gas. He starts running away. But as he's running away, people are dropping dead. It's hilarious to me.
Get away.
But the only thing that it's not a spoiler, but it's also in the trailer, but they don't really go into great detail. But he runs into someone whom, when he's around them, people stop dying. So that is a twist, and then there's a mega twist at the end. I think you will like it. It actually got 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's indie, but it doesn't feel indie. It's indie in the fact that it's like you could tell they filmed this all in one town. But that's the premise of the story. Like he wakes up, small town, doesn't know who he is, and apparently his presence, because in the trailer it says 50 feet. They're within 50 feet of this man, you drop. So I really enjoyed it. It was 1 hour and 20 minutes. I was glad I spared last weekend.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I trust Rotten Tomatoes so much anymore, man.
Like, they always spot on for me.
Really?
Yeah. Except for the big things, like the big like movies, like the There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, like stuff like that. Like that's hit or miss because it depends on like if people are like being super snobby. They're like, oh, this movie was the best, and it really wasn't. This is up for a bunch of awards. Sometimes they are though. Like No Country for Old Men, I actually like. There Will Be Blood, I was iffy on. I was like, I don't know if I like this.
If there's a movie that wins a bunch of awards, I will not watch it. Like if you win an Academy Awards and stuff like that for
it's a no for me.
No. It's
some of them are good though.
And no, see, I knew you were going to say that because you liked American Beauty, and I was just like, that was trash. That was trash.
And it literally was trash blowing around. It was a bag.
Yeah, it was a bag. Who's looking at a bag? Like, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And he's videotaping it. Like, oh, who does that and says, oh, this is the best things ever.
But to retcon, anything that Kevin Spacey touched, I kind of took out of my brain. Like,
he actually won Best Actor that year for that one.
I may have liked it, but he's been retconned.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I did the same thing with R. Kelly. R. Kelly's gone too. All them hits? I don't remember them. What hits? What hits?
Right. I don't even know any of his songs anymore.
Retcon. I just wipe you out. But yeah, so I really liked it. Like,
so hold on before you go further. That was another Carmichael Show episode. It was about Bill Cosby. He was going to a Bill Cosby show, and that was one of the things they talked about. Yeah, so it's funny you bring that up because there's debate within the family about. Oh, I'm not. He was like, I got free tickets to a show, and they're like, oh, what is it? And his girlfriend looks at it. She's like, I'm not going. And she hears the tickets, and then in the family they're talking about it. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. He's also retcon. TV Dad gone. I could rely on James Avery. I still got one. There's more TV Dads where he came from.
See, and I hear what you're saying, but to me, it doesn't make the work less funny to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if it was funny then, it's still funny now. Like, yes, them as a person. Because here's the thing, and here's why I believe this. Right? Not to get off topic from. I know this is supposed to be the not serious part of the week, right? But like, you can't sit here and tell me that everybody that you like or support financially, the stuff that they've done, you may be supporting the behaviors that you don't like already without even knowing it, right? It may be 5 years down the line that it comes out that, Dwayne Johnson was doing something he should have been doing.
Like, not The Rock.
I know. That's what I'm saying, right?
Not The Rock.
But now I'm expected not to watch Hobbs and Shaw. I'm expected not to watch Black Adam when it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
I don't think so. I don't think it's an expectation. Like, I never put it on anybody. Like, if you still listen to R. Kelly's music, or you still what, love the Cosby Show, stuff like that, you have the ability to separate a person from their work, which I respect. That I don't. I just never have. I don't know what it is about it. Like, even when Mel Gibson was wilding, I don't watch his stuff no more. Like, for whatever reason, or Seinfeld. I used to like the Seinfeld show. I used to watch it whenever it would pop on TV. I'd watch it. I can't mess with Kramer. Well, I don't know his real name. Whatever his real name is.
Right.
Like, I have a real problem with separating people from their work. I don't know why it's so entwined for me, because they're literally not the same person. Like, because you'll see this person be different characters, right? So you understand that he or she is not themselves when they're playing these roles. But for some reason, I'd still intertwine the two. So
I got you. I understand it.
You're
not alone in that. You're not alone. You're not, though. That's the thing, is that you will hear several people say, oh, I can't support that anymore. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, you already did, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. If you're watching it on cable, like, you're already supporting it by paying your cable bill. It's not like you paid extra to get episodes of The Cosby Show and that money's going into his pocket. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're already paying it anyway, because the cable company's already added that into the price of, putting it into syndication. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being selfish in that I don't want to give up on the stuff that I like. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but so you have people who can't separate the work, and are judgy about other people who also who can separate the work. I'm not that person. Like, you like what you like, as long as it's nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're like, yeah, I love Ted Bundy. You're like, oh, we're not gonna hang out, because that's too much. But I get it. It's just like, I just personally, I have not gotten to that point, and it's so weird. I didn't notice it until it happened. Like, I've never been like, it wasn't a forethought. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if this person starts to wild out, like, oh, I'm not gonna like their stuff. It just happened. I'm just like, you know what? I didn't like it. I don't like it no more. Put a bad taste in my mouth.
I think I go into everything with the expectation that there's just stuff you don't know about people, which is why I can kind of separate, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's only a matter of time before we find out this person did this, that, and the third. Especially when it comes to Hollyweird, you know what I mean? Like, Hollywood is Hollyweird. They doing some wild stuff out there, and it's just like, yeah,
right,
okay.
Right, I get that. But Radius, check it out if you have not already. This is called Radius. Radius
You know
movie came
what?
out in 2017.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch it. And then when I do, if it sucks, Ryan, I'll be like, you do not recommend anything else to me.
We've been here before.
Well, I know.
We've been here before.
I know. And that's why I'm like, I'm gonna do it. But this time I'm gonna stand by it.
We've been here before. I've been getting these threats since Virginia. Like, I've been getting these threats. Yeah, because it was Requiem for a Dream, Pi. I'm sorry. It was Donnie Darko and Pi. Did I also tell you to watch Requiem for a Dream?
You did. You were right on all three of those. I'm shocked you remembered the three because that was so long ago. Yes, it was.
Requiem for a Dream is my jam. But I also like The Road. I like if it's grim and it's dark, it's for me. That's why I like games like BioShock, where you have like this dystopic type situation. I'm like, yes,
right.
I don't want it in real life, but in media form, love it. Says more about me than the material, probably. What else did I watch? So I watched Radius. I think that was pretty much it when it came to video material. I also been listening to a lot of music. I tried out Kanye's new joint. Not feeling it. I'm a fan of old Kanye. Like after 808 Heartbreaks, he fell off for me. So some people love him still. They're like, oh, he's genius. Like, his production value is amazing. Like when you listen to the tracks, like if it was just instrumental, I'd be down. But then he get on the track, and so again, I have issues with separation, right? So like it's supposed to be Christian, leaning towards gospel sometimes type album and whatnot. Great features, but it did not sound like that to me. They still talk about sex and drugs, you know what I mean? Like it's just not cursing. So I'm just like, so it didn't scratch that. It didn't scratch that itch. And then when it comes to hip hop, that's not where he's at anymore, right? So it doesn't scratch that itch. So I'm just like, what is this? It's a Kanye thing. I don't like new Kanye stuff. So then I was like, okay. So I tried out Certified Lover Boy from Drake. Not my thing. Didn't do it for me. Didn't expect it to, but I was hoping. And then there's another one. It's Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar. They're like cousins or something like that. I forget. I didn't really look into it, but they're like family. So they did an album together. I liked half of it. You know what I mean? Like I like anything with Kendrick Lamar on it. Like some of the other stuff was okay. You know what I mean? But like Kendrick Lamar, he like that. That is my lyricist of this current generation. Between him and J. Cole, like anything they drop is usually I like it. Maybe not a whole album of it, but usually like their singles and whatnot. That's usually the only rap I really like, except for Griselda. Shout out to Buffalo, New York. I don't know if y'all know about Griselda, but like take all of your opinions about my movies, just listen to Griselda's track. I think you'll like it. Like that's our generation of rap.
I am gonna watch Radius.
They're not mumbling rappers. No. Listen to this album first before you watch Radius. Radius is probably gonna go the wrong way. But if you have not heard Griselda's album and you're a fan of hip hop, I think you'll like it.
Okay.
Like that's our generation of rap, not this mumble rap. And I'm an artist, not a rapper type stuff. Like no, this is real rap. So Griselda all day.
Damn.
Okay. I'm gonna try to find that. I know that's a high bar.
RZA's their intro. RZA's the intro. He's like this. He was like, this is real hip hop. Like Rizzo brings them into their first commercial LP. But again, hey, I'm from Buffalo, New York, and they're speaking to me. Especially like the stuff they drop about like certain areas of Buffalo. I'm like people might not get it. But I'm like, yeah. And I'm glad they blew up. Like they're actually like they have features with Eminem and a few other people as well. So I think 50 was on one of the tracks. Eminem, like I said, RZA did the intro. Like I think it's a great album. And then they do have their side projects. So like Benny the Butcher. Like if you heard about him, he has a couple of solos. You got Machine Gun Kelly. They got another dude. Oh man, I can't remember his name. It's gonna kill me now. But I really enjoyed the album. But moving on real quick. The last thing is I actually played a game. So I've been playing Hades. I think it was a change of pace. So I've been playing a handheld this whole time and just getting destroyed. I finally docked it and I pulled out the official wireless Nintendo controller. I've been playing on that, doing much better. So I've made it back to Elysium like 3 times. But
okay,
there's a Minotaur and the champion of Athens fight, and they just murdered me.
Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest fights. Yeah, next to the ending.
Did you fight 2 bosses?
Yeah, like 2 bosses at the same time.
Nah, man.
And they're both tough.
Yeah, they both tough, and they hit me with combos. I'm like, come on now, this cheating. But it's a much better experience docked for me than undocked. And then you saw the Switch had the update with the Bluetooth just in time for me to start docking it. So that would have been nice on them plane rides for the past 4.5 years to you be able to use the Bluetooth that's built into the system. But it's not perfect. Like it has some sync issues where it'll fall out of sync, but it could just be me using my AirPods with it. It might not be as compatible. But I've heard people having other issues with volume, like the internal volume doesn't actually turn up your wireless volume. So there's some issues there that they need to hammer out. But all in all, I like the addition, so it will come in handy when I do travel back to the States. But I'm going to start playing my games docked now just to see what the difference is. Because I've been primarily handheld except for Zelda. Zelda was the only game I played solely docked. Primarily docked, I should say.
Right.
So
yeah, that's long.
Just wait for my controller. Yeah, wait for the controller to show up so I can play on my Xbox jams.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's long overdue for Nintendo, man. They've been like holding off on that Bluetooth connectivity. That's been like something that's been asked for the longest since the console came out. But they like for whatever reason they didn't want to make it Bluetooth or like. But I'd say the same thing for Xbox and PlayStation. They don't have like Bluetooth either. You have to have like a special controller, not controller, but headset that actually connects to it. You can't just buy like a regular Bluetooth headset and connect it to your gaming consoles.
Right, because my son has the Sony joints.
Right.
I forget what they're called, but you have to use their USB dongle.
Like a dongle, yeah, right,
yeah,
right. So I guess it's a thing, but I guess the fact that the Nintendo one is more portable, it's like something that you carry around. You think that it have like a Bluetooth, so you can just walk around and have your headset connect to your console as you're walking around, as opposed to like your Xbox and your PlayStation that's just sitting there. But yeah, I'm glad they finally came out there, and I'm sure there's gonna be some bugs. Hopefully they will come back and iron out those little glitches with the volume and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Like I think the issue was maybe you couldn't use as many devices because of the Bluetooth. That's why they disabled it, because it was being used for the controllers. I don't know, or they just were having issues with it. But
yeah,
you would think like with like the Bluetooth stack's been around for how long? Like they should just work at this point.
Right.
But it could also been security. So not to go into our daytime job, but as we talked about with Bracktooth and all that stuff, like it's a very vulnerable technology. So it could be that as well. Maybe it just didn't feel secure enough to enable it.
So what you're telling me, Ryan, is that Apple will open up their Bluetooth connectivity, but Nintendo won't with their
right. Nintendo's more secure. Nintendo's more secure though. Yeah, Nintendo is pretty secure though. Like they don't really play around. Like you see, like they don't have very robust online. Yeah, their shop is completely enclosed. Like they don't play around.
Right.
Probably because back in the day, what was the system that was Game Boy carts, like ROMs? Like they were the sole victim of the whole ROM situation. That's why Nintendo will sue you to your third cousin in wealth. Like they don't play.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like they don't play around with their intellectual properties. But as soon as I beat it, because I gotta beat it. Like, and I'm not playing any other games until I beat Hades. That's I'm not playing any other games until I beat Hades. I say that, then I'm like I'll probably quit. But well, now that I'm on that, there's some other Nintendo games that I downloaded. I forgot about. Like, I downloaded Sayonara Wild Hearts. I downloaded what was the other one? New Super Mario Brothers. I downloaded a bunch of games, but I'm not touching any of those until I beat Hades.
Yeah.
That is the goal.
We'll see if your tune changes after you keep going
Get
back.
my Xbox controller.
Well, until you go to keep going back to Elysium like 20 more times, and then you'll be like, you know what? No, I'm done with this.
Right.
They whipped my tail. But I think at some point it will force me to beat it because you continuously gain strength, you gain obviously experience from the battles, but your character's constantly getting stronger. So at some point I will outmuscle them. May take me it may take me a lot of deaths to get there. But you always gain something. Like even though a roguelite resets you, every time you die, it doesn't reset the background stats. That just continuously get stronger. So I'm able to get to Elysium faster each time. So at some point, I will bully my way through this game. It will happen.
That's good. You get it. It'll just take some, just a little time. Your little deck,
like LeVon beat it. You said like one sitting.
Yeah,
I knocked it out one night.
Yeah, I beat it like within the first couple of days of playing it. I was able to get to the end of it.
I would say that you did not enjoy the game then. You didn't get all this story I'm getting at my 2000th death. They're still giving me story.
It's true. They have like a lot of dialogue, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, when you get to the end, then it's kind of like it's not really the end. So I mean, I can still play it. I still have stuff to do, really. But I just like with Game Pass, I have so many games. I'm kind of like, all right, I play that for now. I'm gonna like let that sit, and I'm gonna go to this next one, Psychonauts and Yakuza. I also got to get back on Yakuza. But then I'm gonna come back to Hades because there's some more content, more story, more things to collect.
Yeah, I think I downloaded Yakuza 0 and the remaster of the first one. I forget what it's called, like Kimmy something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one I'm on right now.
Before I left the States, I downloaded those knowing I would play them in the future. And knowing that my internet sucks. So I was like, I need to download all these games now before I get back to to where I work at.
Yeah, I'm digging those games, man. The main character is like he's so badass. Like he just his personality, just like so like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe him. He's just kind of like a he's kind of gangster, but obviously he's kind of like a good guy too. He does things for the he doesn't like attack innocent people or anything like that. He fights other gangsters, like rival gangsters and things like that. Or people trying to attack him. I think his gang tries to go after him at some point, and he's just like a macho character. And then like funny thing to me, I talked to my wife about it, but like right before they're about to fight, and a lot of scenes like he'll take off his clothes, like he'll take off his shirt at least. But like he'll be wearing like a shirt like I am, and he'll just like grab like the side of it, and it was like, and like
just rip it off,
just rip it off, and that cracks me up. It's like there's no way the shirt's gonna come off like that. It's not like it's
go time.
It's not like a breakaway shirt or anything. Just we have like a jacket, like a nice like vest or like a dress jacket or whatever you call it, and then like a button up underneath it, and he'll just grab like this his shoulder, and he'll throw his arm out, and like it's like yada yada. It's time to fight us. I don't know, whatever he says. It's just some craziness, but I really dig the game so far. The games.
Well, maybe he has a little cut in it, like Hulk Hogan used to.
Right.
Like maybe that's what he's doing. He has a cut over on the shoulder, and it's just like,
get this out of here. Time to fight.
Like you can't put that back on when you walk away from this fight.
Right.
You gotta walk home with your chest all exposed now.
Right. Yeah, he'll grab his stuff later and it throws over his shoulder, like walks off. Like. Oh, and it's so hilarious. But there's so much comedy in there. So it's really such a good. I see why people really like the games, and it's got so much story in it. And then you can do all these little side missions and side stories, which are very entertaining too. But I try not to get too far into that because I'm trying to like get through like all 6 of them that are out, or whatever, 6 or 7 that are out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hear nothing but good things. So I definitely want to jump on it after I beat Hades.
Right. Once you get through Hades.
Yeah. So the goal is Hades, then 12 minutes, and then Psychonauts. That's in my head. That's the path I'm going to take.
Right.
I definitely want to get Deathloop, but I'm going to wait until I get a next gen system. I heard nothing but good things about it. I don't know if you heard about it, Shannon, but it's like I don't know if you ever played Dishonored. So it's like one of those games. It's like a stealth. You can either play stealthy, you play action wise, but the story is based on time loop, and you basically are a I don't even know what to, like. He has amnesia. There's a phrase for it. Amnesiac. I don't know, but he has amnesia. He doesn't know why he's on this island, why time's looping. Black character, setting feels like it looks like the 60s, maybe like that type of vibe, 60s vibe. There's these guys on the island. They're called visionaries. You have to kill all 8 of them in order to break the loop in one day. You have to kill 8 of them one day. So it's kind of like open world, semi-open world. You have to figure out like, how do I get through this game and kill all of them to break the loop? And if they kill you, time resets. So it's a roguelike element to it. So you learn by failing, and then eventually you're going to learn the pattern to killing all these people on this island to break the loop. The twist is there's a rival character, black female character, who is trying to stop you from breaking the loop. And she is like, these people all repeat the same day, but she is like you. She knows that there's a loop, and she tries to assassinate you. So you see videos, it's hilarious. Like, this dude's going through the level, not thinking about it, and all of a sudden he gets a knife through the chest. So like, from his perspective, he looks down, there's a knife sticking through his chest, and then he turns around, it's her. And she was like, nope, not this time. And everything resets.
Right.
So it's been getting 10s out of 10s, 9s out of 10s at the lowest I've been seeing. Like, it's highly rated. Like, people are loving it.
That's an older game though, isn't it?
They've been talking about it forever. Yeah. So Dishonored is older. So Dishonored, Arcane Systems came out 360 time frame. So is that when the first Dishonored came out? I think it was 360. It might have been Xbox One, but I think 360 is the first Dishonored.
So I want to say my oldest son, I think, has played that before. That's the one on the cover of the game. Does he have like a hood with like a monocle or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I remember it, and I think he's played it, but I never got into it though.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't get into the second one. That's why I got really busy with school. So I need to go back. So all this is on Game Pass, so you can play the first one, second one, all the DLC and all that good stuff. But this one, they said they really nailed it. Like, they nailed all the systems really well. And then just the vibe, and then having the protagonist and the antagonist being people of color, the setting, the mechanics, because like he gets powers. Because all of their games have you get powers at a certain time. Like, so you can either go in guns blazing, or you can do a combination. So you see him just like switch his hand up and knock people in the air, and they'll be frozen, and then he'll gun them down real quick. Hyper violent. Like, I saw him shoot a guy and his head just exploded. I was like, yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, this is for me. But highly rated. I'm thinking maybe the holidays I'll finally get a system, and then I'll buy it for whatever that is. Hopefully, I'm shooting for, because I still want a PS5, because I got to get my God of War on. My God of War, my Horizon, all that good stuff. But I kind of want a Series X to start off with. Because I've not seen one in real life, so I would like to, actually to touch one. And right. B, just for the amount of games. Like, I know what I'm going to get for Sony's system, and I know I'm going to eventually get one. But right now I can have 100 games that are functioning optimally. You know what I mean? Like, almost PC spec. Because I'm not gonna be able to probably not gonna be able to build a PC while I'm out here. It was my plan to begin with, but I ran to a dude who got his stuff in March, and I was like, "When'd you order it?" And he was like, "I ordered this for Christmas." It was like,
damn, 3 months.
Ooh. So I might not go that route. I might wait till I get home and then build a PC with Junior. But I'll probably wait until I get back to the States to order parts and all that good stuff. Hopefully prices will be lower as well by that time.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty cool. I didn't know that you were. I know that you mentioned you were trying to get a Series X, but I think I'm right there with you as far as like the whole like I love the PS5, but at the same time, I really enjoy the access to games that we have right now with the Game Pass on Xbox. You can find a game real quick that you're gonna get to play. There's so many like we were talking about a little while ago. Got all the Yakuzas on there, and then like the Dishonored, and then all the other games, the Hades, and all that type of stuff is on there. So it's pretty much like you get all these games. But obviously for the PlayStation, already like you said, I know the games that I want to get. I want to get like the Horizon, to get the God of War and stuff like that, and Spider-Man. And that comes out like 3 years from now. But I'm gonna get those games.
I feel like I have a little bit more time. Yeah. So
right.
And it's not a duplicate, right? So I already bought the kids what is it? I'm getting the terms mixed up. I got them a Series S, and I got them PS5. So those are already in the household. So me getting the Series X kind of makes me feel a bit better,
right?
As well.
At least
I'm not duplicating. You know what I mean? Like I got something different.
Right. Yeah, I have to like hit you up too, because I've been seeing them pop up every now and then that they're going on sale, like on Walmart or like some other websites. Because I sent you guys that link to one of the guys on Twitter. He always announces like daily, or whenever there's a next.
So I'm following him. Yep, I'm following him.
Okay,
you suggested him. Yep.
Yeah,
but I'm still not in a hurry because I don't have a TV. They don't get them out here too regularly. So
right.
I think I'll try to sync the two up maybe for this holiday or something like that. Get a set and get a Xbox. So I would assume, just like everywhere else in the world, that's when they'll get bigger shipments of stuff. So I can kill two birds with one stone, maybe. But we'll see.
Right. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But before we get too far into the episode, let's jump on this console generation thing I'm experimenting with. So for those who play video games, right? This is a nostalgic trip. So there's different generations. They go by different groups. They're somewhat debatable which generation is which, because Nintendo messes things up a little bit because they release things as they see fit, which I respect because it's what you can do when you're Nintendo. But if you go all the way back to the third generation, so technically this is considered 83 through 2003. It's a really big gap between the two because generations overlap with one another. But this is when the system was still receiving titles, are still being played per se. Because people still make Dreamcast games, believe it or not. Like there's still games dropping for a system that's been dead for a very long time now. So the same thing happened to the third generation with your Sega Master System, Atari 7800, and your Nintendo Entertainment System, or your NES. So that was my first generation. I had family who had the Sega Master System. I didn't really pay much attention to it. It wasn't really my thing. But my father bought me an NES. And I had to be 5, I want to say, because I was born in 83. So I was like 88. I received my Nintendo Super Mario Brothers, just Super Mario Brothers. It didn't have Duck Hunt on it. And it was a 13-inch CRT TV where you had to put it on channel 3 and plug the joint in the back, the adapter in the back. That was my first game console, and it went in my room immediately. It was like, here's your TV, here's your game console. And that was my first jump into video games. And I had Super Mario Brothers, but I also had Bayou Billy. I don't know if like that was one of my favorites. It was like a Western top-down jam. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Arcade, which was one of my favorite games. Never beat it. Bomberman, which I don't even know if you can beat Bomberman, but I used to play the mess out of Bomberman. And what was another classic I had? Is it Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden. I was going to say that. What about Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden? Yeah. I had a few games. The thing lasted forever. I finally got rid of it in, I think I went to college. So 2001, 2002, I finally got rid of it. I sold it to
you had it that long?
Member.
You've
It was
had it
just in
that
a so
long,
I, I had it in a shoebox. It was in a Air Force One shoebox, and I had all the games and controllers in there with it. It was the original NES, like the old school, like first joint where you had to flip the top and stick the card in. You had to blow on it, stick it back in there, push it down.
Right.
It would get hot and start to smell like burning electronics, but it never failed. Never failed. I had it for almost 20 years. It pains me that I got rid of it. I don't know why I would do that. Because I'm very minimalistic, right? So like when a new generation comes out, I usually trade in that console and then get the new jam.
Right.
Like, but I'm like, but I should just kept them. Like that thing would still probably function right now, even though I had 5 Xboxes because the 360s, because the Ring of Death, the NES would probably still be working. But what are your experiences with the NES?
Oh, mine's pretty much mimic what yours was as far as like, I remember Duck Hunt was a big game for me when I first got the Nintendo. And I think I played like a little bit of Atari before that, but I didn't really I didn't purchase one. Or or I should say my mom didn't purchase one for me because I wasn't buying anything back in those days. But it was a good game. I remember playing some Duck Hunt. I remember playing Mario, classic Mario on it. I remember we got like Jeopardy. I remember trying to play Jeopardy on there and trying to figure out the little puzzle. And it was so hard because you had to use the controller to try to type out letters. You had to go to it's like an old school, like, I don't know, like a cell phone or something. I don't know. You try to find a character, hit the X button or hit the A button, and then you can find the next character, hit the A button. But it's just it was fun getting to enjoy that with mom. Then I got like Zelda, like the Legend of Zelda was with the gold cartridge was one of the big games back in the day. I don't think I ever.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, did you ever get that?
You had the gold one?
Yeah, the gold cartridge.
Oh man, I had a cousin with the gold one. He wouldn't let me touch it. He was older than me. You can't touch it.
Yeah. And obviously being gold is like a stretch. That thing was like, plated plastic, like it did chip off eventually, like if you dropped it wrong or something. But that was a good game. And then I remember playing like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that was on the Nintendo. And then I played like some sort of Simpsons game that was on there. But I remember, that being a great console for me. That was like my kind of introduction into like gaming. And I remember eventually, like, I forgot, like maybe a couple years later, I ended up selling it to get ready or to get to purchase the Super Nintendo, kind of a step up from there. And obviously that can be for another show, but that was kind of like my experience with that generation console. I can't think of any big points in my life. I remember just like at some points I'd play a game and then I obviously didn't have any save points, so I just let the game run. I had to go like
forever.
Yeah, I had to go mow the lawn or something like that, and I was like, I'm gonna come back and finish this game or whatever. And so I would do that. I think I remember like Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I feel like that was a game that I used to play. And then it was like Avengers game I played on there too. That was pretty dope. But all these other, these random games probably never seen, but it was fun. And some nostalgia there. How about you, Shannon?
So like the one that I got, it was the 3-part disc was the first thing I got with the or the cartridge. It had Super Mario, Duck Hunt, and the track meet. You remember the track meet one where you had the pad?
Yeah, that's right.
With
the pad. I forgot
you
about
just use your hands.
When I first got it, like a little idiot, I'm up there running on it. You know what I mean? My cousin showed me. He was like, "Nah, you ain't got to do that." And he showed me the hands. Nah. You do the hands, and don't jump the hurdles, and let it go, and then
right.
I had that. I had Ninja Gaiden. I had that one too. I still remember that opening scene in Ninja Gaiden where they jumped up in the air and slashed. I was like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I still remember that, man. Never beat that game. Never beat it, but I loved playing it. What was another one I had? I had Top Gun. So like landing the plane on the carrier and whatnot, I could never get it down. Like very seldom could I ever get it.
Right.
But like the Marios, I went through. I mean, throughout the course of me having that, I went through all the Marios. Like I said, Top Gun, Ninja Gaiden. What was the other one? Double Dragon. Was that the name of it? Was it
Yeah,
Double?
there's Double Dragon.
Yeah, Double Dragon. Yeah, I had Double Dragon. But yeah, no, I remember the NES, man. But what's crazy to me is I don't remember how I got rid of it. Like I don't know if my mom might have like sold it or something. I don't know, and I don't remember what happened. But yeah, I got Sega Genesis after that though. But yeah, and NES, boy, that was the first one. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You jogged some memories. So Adam's Family, Fester's Quest. I had that one.
Okay.
I had baseball, just called baseball.
Baseball.
It was
Double Dribble. Was that one that was on there too? The basketball game, Double Dribble.
I think
That
Double
sounds
Dribble was on
familiar.
there.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
But I had Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird. Remember that one?
Yeah,
I had that. I had that. And a few others, but those are the ones I remembered. I also remember I never beat any game ever.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
They
too.
weren't long games. It's just they were so hard.
Right, especially being so young.
I didn't beat not one game ever in my entire NES life, but I definitely had some good times. But yeah, so I think that's pretty good. Like I just wanted to go over like just our first gaming memories and what have you, and then I think Gen 4 is where we start to split because I never had a SNES, a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and I regret it to this day. I had to pick. Like I was given a choice. It's like, do you want because I had no money. Do you want a Genesis or do you want a Super NES? And I didn't choose wrong, but I wish I could have had some SNES memories because people talk about it fondly, and I was just like, I love my Genesis, but it was not. It was different. It's probably why I'm such a Dreamcast lover to this day, because it was a different mentality. But we'll get into that next week. Versus the one SNES kid down there.
Right.
With his rose-colored glasses, his gilded memories of classic games down there. It was in the mean streets of what was it? Rolling Hills or whatever? Like what's the Sega? What's the Sonic joint where his first level?
Oh, yeah.
Something Hills.
Hills.
Something Hills. I was in those mean streets.
Right. Yeah, I guess I got love for Genesis or for Sega in general. I never had a Genesis. I played it. I think I remember even back as a kid, I used to remember like thinking about the Sega Genesis, and it's like, because I think they only had like 3 buttons.
So that's where it was different. So Nintendo had 2, and then it had 3 with the A, B, and C.
Right.
Yeah, and then you had a fighter pad that had 6.
Yeah.
Like later on in the generation, you had 6. There was 2 rows of 3. So you play your Street Fighter 2 Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Edition.
Yeah, I had that game too. I had that one, but I remember being a kid thinking like, "Oh, Sega only has 3 buttons. I better get a Super Nintendo. It has like, they had the 4 buttons and had the buttons on the top too.
And then it had the trigger buttons.
Yep. But we'll get into that next week. Let's hold that one off because that's a pretty good generation too. But I think that wraps it for this week. It was a pretty long episode. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you, LeVon. Appreciate it. Thank you for all those who listened to the end. We over here we was talking for a good hour. So definitely continue to tune in. Like I said, throughout the week, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you get all our cybersecurity goodness, and then on Fridays you get our everything else podcast. So it's really like having 3 podcasts, right? You have the Other Side of the Firewall podcast. You have Ask Us SP whenever I actually do get questions. That's the Thursday episode. And then on Fridays, you get the weekly rundown. So we're diversifying. It's yet another podcast I'm not paying y'all for. So there it is. Take it to court. This is public access. We're doing it for people.
That's right.
And my future wallet.
When you show up with a big chain and whatnot,
right? Over here like Killer Cam with the pink fur. Like we're doing it for the people. But yeah, Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Definitely hit up our social medias and all that good stuff at the website www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. You can hit me up personally. You can find me on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. And LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. So stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.